this right over anything else is what means the most to me. So the main thing to me is not physical health, it's mental.
All right, we're now very pleased to welcome in former Bengals, former Browns wide receiver Andrew Hawkins. And I did mention the Browns. You spent a couple seasons with Johnny Manziel. He said his family will see drastic differences. Let's take back to when you were a teammate of his.
Yeah.
How different is it what you saw then and what you just heard?
Well, I think a lot of people as a teammate are shocked to hear how great of a guy Johnny was, right? I have a 5-year-old son who worshiped Johnny. And to this day, no matter where Johnny is in the world, no matter what he has going on in life, he makes a point to reach out to him on his birthday to make sure he knows that he's thinking about him, which is huge. And that's the kind of guy he is. Now, as a teammate, could you see some of the issues rearing their head from time to time? Of course, he would have his low points where you would see that some of the issues may have been getting the best of him. And then he would have his high points where you thought to yourself, like, man, this guy's on the brink of figuring it out. But I think ultimately what those problems did was it robbed him of his ability to quickly figure out what it takes to be a quarterback in the National Football League.
And we don't know how this is going to turn out. Certain people pulling for him, as you pointed out, he's a good guy there and has a connection with your son. What, if you could certainly give some advice, what would you like to see that next step be for him?
Yeah, I think he's already began the process of the advice that I would give him. Step one is admitting and figuring out the roots of the problem, which he talked about today. Step two would be being transparent with everybody who's watching, wondering, has been rooting him on for years. And step three, which is the most important part, would be to continue on this track when the cameras are off, when it's no longer in the headlines, and when no one's watching, because that's going to determine where your opportunities are in football and beyond. Because to be honest, I think this has the opportunity to be maybe one of the biggest comeback stories in the history of sports.
All right, and we're living it, and we will keep you up to tabs with it. There was other NFL news. I want to get your thoughts on it. The Colts hired Eagles offensive coordinator Frank Reich as their new head coach. There's a new conference scheduled for tomorrow, a news conference scheduled tomorrow for Reich. Teams' terms were not disclosed, but it's a 5-year deal according to NFL Network and ESPN. This is the tweet that was sent. The Colts had some fun with the news. It wasn't the first choice, let's face it. Tweeting out this photo of Reich and owner-CEO Jim Irsay holding Sunday's Indianapolis Star, saying, "Since you guys got jokes," responding to a tweet of needing to see proof after Pat's offensive coordinator Josh McDaniels backed out of becoming their head coach last week. So Reich did some incredible things with the Eagles. Proof is in the pudding. Super Bowl, and he was the guy who helped mold Nick Foles. What do you see about what he could do for this Colts offense?
I hope that photo's not photoshopped for all Colts fans. Yeah, exactly. But to be honest, I love it. I love it for the Colts. I love it for Coach Reich. I mean, the last thing the Colts want is a guy who they're not sure is committed to being there long term. And everything I've heard about Coach Reich is that he's incredibly genuine and he's a straight shooter, right? And most importantly, which I'm excited about, is he's a disciple of and he's a descendant of that Tony Dungy coaching tree, which I think Luck is going to benefit from. And honestly, that brand of offense that Reich runs, I think is going to be huge for the Colts.
There he is, Andrew Luck. A lot of pressure going in there. Hey, we're going to have you back a little bit later in the show. Andrew Hawkins, ladies and gentlemen, providing his knowledge on a lot of NFL topics here on SportsCenter.